Hey everybody, welcome to Strength Coach TV. I'm Anthony Arena. This is the show where we take you inside some of the country's best gyms, give you a tour, and then we sit down with the owners and we talk a little bit of shop. All right, today's bar is chocolate squared. Tastes like a brownie, dark chocolate, some pecans, unbelievable. Soy-free, gluten-free, lactose-free, low sugar, tastes amazing. You gotta check these bars out. And thanks to Marianne and everybody at Marigold Bars, because obviously if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be bringing you these shows. So today we head up the street from me in Thornwood, New York, to the New York Weightlifting Academy. Dan Casey is the owner, and I think one of the takeaways here, and the main takeaway, is Dan picked something that he's really good at and that he wanted to focus on, and that's weightlifting. He's not only the owner, but he's a member of the team. He competes himself, and it's just a good lesson, right? Especially right now in the gym climate. It's pick something, focus on it, be really good at it. Don't get too crazy with trying to do a million things. Don't always concern yourself with how big you can get. Dan's really focused on being a great teacher, keeping an amazing culture in the gym, which they do with the teams and everything. You're going to hear about that, and really staying focused on those things. That's a really good lesson, not only for business but for life. So anyway, let's head over to Thornwood, New York, to the New York Weightlifting Academy. Okay. All right, guys. Hey, welcome to Thornwood, New York. We are here at the New York Weightlifting Academy. I'm here with Dan Casey. Dan, thanks for doing this, man.
Anthony, thanks so much. I appreciate you having you here.
Love it. Okay, so like it sounds, New York Weightlifting Academy. This is really just for like some serious. We don't have soccer moms coming in here.
No soccer moms. All Olympic style weightlifting. So it's a very specific element and type of training that we do. I don't know if you're familiar with Olympic style weightlifting, sure, but it's the snatch and the clean and jerk. So it's basically a competitive team that we have. I myself compete, a bunch of lifters under me, and most people that come here, they vie to compete. And let's say anyone outside of that are, let's say, sports specific. Lacrosse athletes, football athletes, they'll come here, utilize this type of training in order to benefit themselves for the sport. So it's specific, but all strength and speed oriented.
Okay, so you are getting a little crossover with some sports too.
Absolutely, absolutely, because there's no type of training that benefits sports like this type of training.
Absolutely. All right, so we are in a kind of a warehousey area, right? And you can do that because you are the specific niche. You're able to do that.
It's true, and the demands of this type of training also require a warehouse element like this. We need a strong floor to be able to support the loads that we're going to be dropping onto it. Also, too, just the open space. It's something that we need. As you can see, and you'll probably see later, it's all free weights, not a lot of machines, so it's something that's required for this type of training in the sport.
Yeah, and also neighbors, right? I mean, because there's a lot of banging and clanging going on
Absolutely,
around here,
absolutely. So if we're next door to a nail salon, they're not going to be too happy about the noise that's going on. So if we have a warehouse next door, it doesn't make any difference.
Well, you said, even with the warehouse, did they ever complain?
No, never.
No? Okay.
No complaints, so we're good. We're in good shape.
So then how does somebody, how do the memberships run here? Like, for example, I mean, somebody's not going to come in and be like, you know, hey, I'm just going to come in and do my own thing. Are they, or is it all instruction? How do you work it?
Basically, we do monthly memberships, and the reason I do monthly memberships, I find, is because it makes it easy for people to be continuous and also to be very consistent. When you have pricing where it's personal training, like, it kind of limits at least the demographic that I have that come in. Yeah. So monthly memberships make it affordable, but also at the same time, everyone comes in, they train as a group, and as a result, everyone gets really consistent training and develops a team environment.
Okay, so it is more of a semi-private group situation for the most part?
Correct, yes.
Okay, and probably some private training too,
for sure. There's definitely some private training that occurs, but for the most part, we try to keep it a relatively small to large group, and myself and any of the other trainers working simultaneously with everybody. So I think it works much better. It keeps the environment moving, everyone's pretty focused, but also at the same time they see other people doing, and it's motivational, much more than just one-on-one.
What is the makeup male-female here?
I would say it's pretty even. I have a pretty fair amount, if not even tipping towards more female than male.
Wow.
Believe it or not. There are times where we'll be here training and it's all women training. And it's much dispelling, I guess, the myth that weightlifting is only for men. Yeah. I have a very great group of women who enjoy training, enjoy competing, and they look great as a result of it. So you would never think that they endeavor in this type of training and they do such intensive strength training for how they look and how they're actually able to perform.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go and we'll get a tour and check the place out.
Sounds good. Look forward to it. Hey guys, this is the entry to the New York Weightlifting Academy. As you can see, we're all about weightlifting here, so come on in, we'll give you a tour.
Cool, and I will show, just do a little pan around. You can see this is kind of a little industrial area here. No foot traffic coming by here.
Definitely not there. So this is our entryway here.
Cool.
As you can see, we have the mascot.
There you go.
Everyone's got to have a mascot representing. Some trophies from past competitions that we had. The table's cleared now, but actually I had sand from all over the world. So whenever people would travel, they'd bring back little bits of the earth or so, have them in jars. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I have quite an extensive collection of basically the world.
Where is all that?
It's in a box under the stairs here. Yeah,
okay.
We had to clean everything off for a little bit and do some tidying. So it went away for a little bit, but it'll come back. And I think it's cool to have it because this Olympic weightlifting is an international sport. So being this an international sport, you have representatives, as you'll see, flags inside, but also parts of the world.
Very cool. Now, you got the bike right here, the Airdyne, the assault bike.
We do. That's honestly, it's good for warm-ups, great for conditioning, obviously. So there are athletes who have to focus on their weight, or if they're trying to lose weight for a competition.
Yeah.
We'll put them on the bike for a little bit. It's low impact, obviously, is the nature of cycling, but burns calories like a furnace. So we'll utilize this quite a lot. It's a great form to improve someone's cardiovascular, obviously, and also maintain weight.
Absolutely. So is there, now I see some stairs behind you. Is that yours or?
No, those are just offices to the guys next door. So they utilize that. We just have this area here, and if you come in, I'll show you. We have also, let's see, pictures of great lifters all over the wall.
Nice.
So one of the greatest ever.
Oh, it's very cool. This
is actually from Masters National Championships. So this guy right here, he won the national title this year. This woman, Roberta, she came in third. This was Savannah, Georgia. Beautiful, beautiful place.
Very cool.
This is our bathroom.
Nice.
Yeah, we got one of our lifters.
There you go.
Former training partner of mine, Mike Bassiano.
Really?
Yeah, that was a competition that he was at.
Nice.
This from photos from a World Championships back in the 80s.
Cool.
Here's our locker room. So it's nothing to write home about, but it's functional.
The men's and the aside the women's? Or?
It's all universal.
There you go.
So it's for anybody who comes in. So unisex.
Yep. Awesome.
This right here is my mother. Hello, Mother.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
What's going on?
You need to invite yourself to Chappaqua Moms and Pleasantville Moms and ask them to accept you as a coach for whatever you can do. And if they like you, you're in.
Okay. How do I contact them?
I go on Facebook.
Okay. Oh, okay, I can do that.
And then ask them to like you, and then if they like you, which I don't know why they would.
That's true.
That's getting your name out there.
Okay. All right, perfect.
And she can share, and she knows everybody.
All right, good. Excellent, thank you.
Were you just filming just then?
We are.
We are.
Are you for real?
Yeah.
You put me in there?
I did.
We could.
Why not?
No.
I'll get the permission.
We're not making up.
You're mine, right?
No, this is for real.
We're doing a show. We keep it real on the show.
Yeah, it's... Come on in this way now that you got that tour.
See some real
live action
from the boss.
It's true. I mean, how many times have you done the show to where someone's mother not only came in to say hi, but also give some marketing tips?
Specific directions.
So
there you go.
And now
very cool.
This is the gym. So
how many square feet?
This area itself is about 1,800 square feet.
Okay.
So 1,800 square feet on a straight slab. So the floor is pretty thick. I mean, we had one spot of the floor that actually cracked on us. I had to repair that a little bit, which was odd. I'm surprised that there would be an inconsistency in an industrial floor like this. But for the most part, straight slab, and then everything just free weights, all equipment laid down right here.
So you didn't have to do anything. When you came in here, you didn't have to make any specific changes to flooring or anything like that?
No, none whatsoever. So the rubber right here, it's only about a 1/4 inch rubber.
Okay.
It's just a thin overlay, but right atop, just raw cement. And then for us to be able to really use it, 'cause the 1/4 inch is actually, it's too thin to be able to drop heavy weights on. But you can see that the platforms are elevated. The platforms have about, let's say, 1.25 to 1.5 inch rubber. I put this on top as extra, but for the most part, it's this dense.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, let's see that. Oh, okay. Oh, so that's not you. You didn't make that. Elko, right?
Eleco's the company, yeah. So we got the platforms from them.
Yeah.
The big platform there, I made that one.
Let's go check that out.
Yeah, absolutely. My construction.
Cool. So, all right, yeah, you made this. This is just what? Would you get some plywood? Or?
Yeah, that's really all it is. It's about, let's say, 2.5 layers of laminated plywood. The top is just a smooth, I believe, birch finish it was. Just put a coat of paint on it because the paint actually allows it to have a little bit more grip to it. The raw finish, or the raw wood finish, when it gets a little bit of dust on it, can get slippery. So the paint, no matter what the condition or what type of impurities in the floor or are on the floor, will allow you to still maintain safety and foot grip.
Very cool.
So,
now let me ask you about the flags.
Sure.
Is this organic? Like, do you have people from every single country that is represented on these flags, or did you get?
Well, the way it started off, Olympic lifting is an international sport. Yep. So, obviously being an Olympic sport, it's therefore international. But it started off as, I did this back row right here, if you can pan to that. Oh, yeah. Started with the back row. I didn't have Norway up there at the time. I can't remember. I think I had Italy up there. Okay. But I started off with flags that I had based upon just good weightlifting countries, and then it evolved into where, let's say, those who came in, the members who come in, they started bringing flags, and so now every flag that's hung up is representative of any of the members that come here. So you see the newest one right here is Cameroon, this one right on the wall here. Yeah. For this new lifter that we've had, she literally just came from Cameroon. She competed in World Championships last year, so she's training here now, and it's exciting. So.
Nice. So, like, obviously, you know, it's a relatively small gym, but there's a lot of people that can work out here.
Yes.
You know, because we're only doing a few specific things.
It's true.
Where would people, like, is there a warm-up? Do they, like, you know, do you guys have specific warm-ups that you do, or is this kind of related to specifically, where are they doing those things?
Well, let's say, for the most part, everyone, if it gets too crowded, people warm up in the hallway. For the most part, it's fairly steady, so people can warm up on the mat area here, or go on the platform and do, let's say, certain stretches or specific warm-ups that we'll delegate to them. Most everybody has their own warm-up that they eventually evolve into. Yep. But for the most part, let's say we have newer people coming in, we'll go through the warm-up protocol that we give. And from there, we'll determine if they need to stretch certain areas, like the flexibility and such, and then they'll go through the normal warm-up and then give them their specifics. So stretches that they have to do that are going to make them, or prepare them rather, for the lifting that they're about to do. Yep. So some people have very tight shoulders. They have to expend extensive amount of time stretching their shoulders out more, so that way when they go to do the lifts, they're ready for it.
Yep, absolutely. Good stuff. Let's just come on over.
Sure.
I'll show everybody this time.
Normal rollers and massage devices, as you can see. Yep. So some ranging from hard to soft. This is actually something that you don't see too often in many gyms. The wall bars, stall bars, some different names and iterations, but this is something very common in most traditional weightlifting gyms. Great for stretching, doing supplemental exercises on. It's a great tool. Every gym should have one of these because there's so much that could be done with it.
What are some of the things that you would do on that?
I mean, you all sorts of stretching. You throw your legs up. Anything involving. Possibly, really, I'd say even sky's the limit as to what you could do. You can pull a bar, you can hang from it, do pull-ups, attach bands to it. We do ropes, put ropes on it for different forms of stretching. Yep. So you can do a wide variety of things.
Now, to be honest, somebody will come in here who doesn't know, like we know, and be like, dude, what you spent $300 on this place, right? I mean, but this is an expensive endeavor. You got some serious bars.
It's true.
If you look at you know, all of these plates. This is expensive, man.
Very much so. I'll even to give you a little showcase. These plates right here, these are Wasaka, a Japanese company. These are from the 2004 Olympic Series. Okay. So these are actually very hard to find. If you look at this set right here, these set of blue and red ones here, these are actually from the '96 Olympic Games. Oh wow. So my coach had those when he coached there. He ended up picking them up later on, but these are actually from the Olympic Games. Very cool. And then all the equipment, all these types of plates and bars, they're very expensive because they're high quality and needed for proper action, good balance when you're lifting. Yeah. So this bar here, any of the bars on this rack range anywhere from, if you want to look like, let's say, anyone could look this up. This bar right here costs about $1,000. This one costs about $900. This one you can't even find anymore. This one's priceless. People would kill to get that. So it's not cheap. It's bare minimum looking, but it's worth it to have really good equipment. And it's something that collected over time. So I started off with lesser equipment, bought, sold. A lot of the stuff actually ended up not even buying brand new, but found people selling it or got a good deal on it one way or another. So it's just something just kind of keep leveling up. And if I see a good deal, okay, I'll take that and see what I want to swap out for it. But for the most part, I mean, everything that we have right now, it's top-notch equipment. I wouldn't trade or get rid of anything.
Yeah. So I see you got some kettlebells here.
Absolutely.
Obviously, you're going to do some supplemental exercise with them. What are some things that you guys focus on here with the kettlebell?
Well, the kettlebells, they're great for door stops or keeping things from moving. I mean, they're foolproof with that. But for the most part, nothing extensive in the sense of standard or normal kettlebell practice. We'll just do a lot of pressing with it.
Okay.
So presses are mainly the most that we do, maybe some rowing, but for the most part, that's really the limit of what we do. No snatching or anything like that, because let's say, given what this type of training is going to do, you want to minimize any additional stress on your body, but utilize these as a strengthening tool. So any sort of excessive motion with the wrists or so, just going to end up bothering. So that's why presses, rows, maybe just holding them for a single leg squat, any limited motion for the most part.
Not repeating what you're trying to accomplish.
That's exactly it, because the motor patterns will be different. That'll affect what you're doing. But honestly, they're great for it. Better than most any other tool, I would think.
All right. Well, let's go sit down and we'll talk some shop.
Sounds good to me. Look forward to it.
All right, very cool, Dan. Love the place. Like I said, too, it's very deceiving. We talked about how expensive things could be. And
Absolutely.
Before we get into that, though, I want to give you your little package from Marigold Bars. Cool. It's a sample pack.
Thank you.
Non-GMO, low sugar. These things taste great. You got to put them in the fridge, though.
Oh, yeah? Okay. I'll make sure to do that.
People don't have to put them in the fridge because
I'll probably eat them right away. I was just going to say, I'll probably consume this before the day's over. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, Marigold Bars is allowing me to be able to do more and go out and do this type of thing.
Cool. I hope they continue to support you then, because this is great what you're doing.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the challenges. You know, because I was a niche. I had 5-iron fitness, so I only worked with golfers.
Okay.
Part of it is it's super easy to know who you're going after, right?
Yes.
You know where the people that are going to be serious Olympic lifters are. But then other times you feel like, man, it's hard because, I mean, it's 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
You don't open till 10:30. You don't have the morning mom rush or the early morning mom, male, female kind of before work rush.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges you've faced with having the New York Weightlifting Academy?
I'd say the biggest is it's a very, very niche operation that we have here. I mean, for the most part, let's say outside of, I can't come up with an analogy for it, but I mean, it's just the amount of people who are familiar with the style of weightlifting. Even now, like I'll still say, oh, I do Olympic weightlifting, I have a gym, and people are like, oh, you do like the working out stuff. It's like
exactly,
not quite at all. So I guess it took a lot of time to build up to where I am now to be able to have this facility, and the good thing is, as I was saying earlier, is that there seems to be a growing trend of people interested in actually being active, doing something a little bit more competitive, and not to mention exercising and doing something for their well-being, but having the added challenge of a skill that has to be mastered at the same time, which is something that this isn't. And I think that's the alluring part of weightlifting, is that it draws people in because you're never good enough. The moment you start strength training is the day you're weak forever, and you're going to always want to continually try to get stronger and stronger, and you always want to continue to improve on the last time. And that's in and of itself what makes it difficult, because it's in our society, people want instant gratification, instant progress, and this is something, and I tell people all the time, this type of sport is like a martial art. You don't walk into a martial arts school the first day and expect to be a black belt. It takes years upon years upon years to develop the skills. So the hardest part, let's say, that I've faced so far is getting people involved to expect what's to come, to be disciplined with how they have to approach it, and accept that they're going to have to work very hard in order to achieve the results that they want, and be realistic at the same time. So it's a matter of trying to find the right people, keep the right people, and have an environment conducive for everybody to be developed and thrive at the same time.
Absolutely. Does the team idea, like for example, having this as a team, you're on the team, that helps. Has that helped kind of with retention, or like, and how many people who are members end up being as part of the team? For the most,
I'll start by saying, first, anyone that comes in the door, my goal eventually is to get them to compete, because if they're going to be doing this, there comes a point where everyone else around you is competing. It's a good activity to involve yourself in. It's a good challenge, a good motivation.
Yeah.
So my goal eventually is to push them towards that point, so that way, so that way they have a good motivator behind them. So okay, at first they'll be tentative and be like, oh, I don't know about that. But once they get more comfortable and build self-confidence, then it becomes more of a reality. Awesome. But going with that, being in a team environment, being around those, and the one thing too is, they're people of various skill levels. So you have those who have been with me for, let's say, 3-4 years, who are more advanced and newer people coming in, but everyone trains together, everyone trains at the same time. Yep. And it's like let's say a sibling relationship. The older sibling teaches a younger sibling a little bit. They learn the environment, learn how you have to conduct yourself within this in order to fit in. And for the most part, and I don't want to say fit in per se, but what accords are needed in order for someone to be successful. So ultimately, to answer your question, yes, the team environment helps very much and motivates everyone, because it's a community, creates camaraderie amongst everybody, and that's what allows everybody to be able to do well. Yeah.
Has CrossFit helped you in terms of, like, they've done an amazing job of introducing people, like the average person, to Olympic lifting and, being part of it.
Absolutely.
Maybe sometimes it's obviously not going to be as good as maybe you're teaching. It's like they're not going to be the skilled educators that you are, but they've really done a great job introducing people. Have you gotten a lot of kind of former CrossFitters who are like, I just don't want to work out like that, but I love this part of it?
Absolutely. I've had so many of them. I mean, people ask me this question all the time, because there's the headbutting or love-hate relationship between CrossFit and Olympic lifting. But absolutely. I mean, I would say I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for CrossFit. Obviously, I have points of contention with it and elements that I disagree with, but for the most part, CrossFit's done a great job in helping grow Olympic weightlifting, expose more people, men and women, children as well, to the sport, and also really allowed people to say, you know what, I really don't like running, but I enjoy strength training. I want to keep going with this. I enjoy the lifts. I want to learn how to lift more. I want to do more. So CrossFit's done a great job with that. Also, as well, it's done a great job changing the culture in the country, or culture even in the world, that working out isn't just Arnold style 80s bodybuilding. It's you can run, you can climb ropes, you could do snatches, clean and jerks. You could do all these different elements of training and find that you actually have better results, you feel better, you're more flexible, and you're not going to look like, for let's say the women who don't want to look big and muscular, for that stigma, you don't have that. And for guys, they find that actually, okay, I could still be an athlete. I did athletics I was athletic in high school and college. And now I have nothing else. Here's another avenue for me to be able to pursue that I could continue to put my energy towards.
Hey, and I like the age group thing too, because like for me, rowing, I started rowing a couple of years ago just to support a client. So I really just do it in the winter to kind of go up to BU for the championships. But it's cool because I'm like, all right, I'm in the 50 to 50-year-old slot, right? 50, 54. So it's kind of cool that you're like, all right, good, I'm competing within my own. Same thing with the obstacle course races, they do that as well.
They have different age groups?
Different age groups.
That's just like weightlifting. Weightlifting, we have masters championships or masters categories. So it goes every 5 years. And let's say I've had people who've come in here, still training me to this day. They've started, maybe late 40s, 50s when they actually got involved in it. But there's still a forum where they could be competitive, have other people to strive to compete against, be better than, and such. And there's no limitation to it. Not to mention too, let's say at that age or as you get older, it just helps keep you young. It helps preserve flexibility, preserve cognitive and mental skills, because the amount of focus and the demands of the sport, and that's the best thing about it. So it's great because the sport's for everybody.
I totally agree. And that's what I like about the whole, this, kind of knowing that you have that culture, that specific culture. Again, it could be harder because, like we said, it's 10:30 and there's, you're going to miss out on that crowd in the morning,
Absolutely. And we do have, let's say on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we have an earlier group. But it's for a few of those who want to come in, get stronger. For the most part, the busier brunt of the day comes in the evening and on the weekends. And that's when the real serious crowds come in, and we're able to push them through. So it works out pretty well with that. Because they're able to, it's a better time of day, I feel, for people to train anyway. They're more awake, they go through the day, they're able to eat enough and get into where when they come in, they're not just fresh out of bed and then trying to wake up and crack yourself loose so early.
Absolutely. Any plans for expansion? Number one, here, and number two, to a bigger space maybe?
I'm still toying with how I want to do that, because First off, I'd say this space right here, it's been such a great space that it's almost tentative to, let's say, if I was to go somewhere else, if it would lose the novelty and the romance that it has about it. We have a lot of windows, as you can see, lets a lot of light in. It's very specific.
The high windows are awesome.
It does, and it creates a really good environment. So ultimately, I'd enjoy to stay here because, one, how great it has been so far. Two, it's a very good location demographically within the county, and for people, let's say, coming from the city, from up north, from Rockland and such. So it's very good, and not to mention the train's right around the corner, so it's very, very easy train access. As well, I would say any sort of expansion would just be, let's say, honing things down and making things more acute. Myself doing more seminars or having more events here. That's where I'd like to expand more and try to do more educational type of promotions and courses as opposed to just training alone, because it can get washed out, the quality of training, what we're looking for, the more we expand. And also too, let's say for me to get more coaches in, it's very different. It's not like, let's say you could have, okay, this person has a certification, I could hire them, bring them in. I need someone who's gone through the premise of, let's say, training either with myself, trained with my coach. Someone has to be groomed for this, and it's very difficult to be able to replicate someone coming in because we need continuity. So the cues that I'm giving need to be the cues that someone else is giving and under the same premise, and that's very difficult to be able to teach. It's difficult to learn how to do this stuff by yourself and being as an athlete. Two, it's difficult, or three, it's even more difficult to do it being a coach at the same time. So you have to have gone through the period as an athlete to learn how difficult it is, and then to be able to understand what you're trying to convey to someone. So I'd like to stay per se at this size here, but allow myself to do a little bit more overall. That comes with the education component that we've done. We've done a lot of courses so far. So keep expanding on that, we'll be in good shape.
I love it, because it's not always about that, about getting bigger or going to a new space, especially when you have a great culture already.
And that's exactly it. And the greater quality that we could exact out of it will bring in greater quality overall. So let's say how I look at it and how things have been, what I've, I guess, analytics, if you want to say. Tracking how I've grown over time. It's been slow, but it's been steady, and we keep attracting more and more quality people. And the more quality people you get in, the better the environment, the better the lifting, and ultimately it's got to be. You have to look at it just like the sport itself. And the great thing about this type of training is that it's a microcosm or a metaphor for life. How you have to approach this is how you have to approach life. So I can't look at it as, okay, next year I want to be doubling this, I want to be tripling that. It's the long game. So I have to look towards the long game and how everything's going to build to that. And we get more quality people, more quality lifters, develop better coaches over time. That's ultimately where success and more growth is going to be. So that's my main focus.
Let's finish up with one thing you might have not changed or regret, but one thing you looking back, you said could have done this a little bit better.
Honestly, nothing.
Really?
Nothing. And the reason I say that, I've made plenty of mistakes, plenty of things I'm sure I could have done better, but I wouldn't be at this point where I am without having made all those errors or not having done things how maybe I thought they should have been in hindsight. So ultimately, everything's been a learning tool, and the sooner I learn, the quicker I'm going to be able to profit from it. So I wouldn't change anything as it is. Very
cool, you guys. I know obviously you guys are doing a great job. I found out this place just from number one, an Apple guy. I was at the Genius Bar. He saw me editing his Strength Coach TV, and he said, "You got to go over to New York Weightlifting Academy."
We've got reach everywhere.
And then my buddy, we got to give a shout out to Jamie Rodriguez from the New Jersey Devils, strength coach.
Great guy, very good guy.
Posted on here, and I'm like, Jamie, what are you doing up here in my neck of the woods?
I actually originally met Jamie through a seminar that I gave down the city, or a course that I gave down the city on Olympic lifting. So met Jamie originally there, and coincidentally, one of my very good friends, he lived in the cities down in North Carolina now, actually went to college with Jamie.
Oh wow!
So he was, get this, it was at, I forget, it was Equinox? No, not Equinox. Whatever the gym was in the city where I was doing the course. We're holding the course, have a lunch break. My buddy, our mutual friend, he worked 2 floors upstairs, comes down during the lunch break, says hi to us. It's like a small world, really small world. So both vouch, great guys. So Jamie, love you, man.
Yeah, thanks, Jamie, for hooking us up. So, Dan, thanks for doing this, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Helps everybody out there who are trying to open up their own place and are thinking about a specific niche? If you're going to go all in like we did here.
Absolutely, and that's one thing I didn't say, just to touch up on that, is that if you're going to do it, you got to go all the way. Don't look back. Don't question anything. If that's what you want, you just don't stop.
Love it. Thanks again, brother.
Yeah, pleasure.
All right.